Hello, everybody back out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I am, of course, from Diego. And today we are going to start talking about The Notebook. The Notebook, that piece of shit movie from 2004. You know the movie I'm talking about. This is part of my Chic-Flick destruction here. So basically what I do here is I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view about these bullshit fucking Chic-Flick movies. All right, that you girls and you gay guys fucking love so fucking much. All right, it's about time somebody gave you an honest to God fucking opinion. All right, I'm sick and tired of these motherfuckers on TV, you know, in interviews talking about how it's all about the romance and love, and get the fuck out of here, okay? It's about getting laid. It's about fucking getting laid. It's about the bigger, better fucking deal. You call it whatever the fuck you want. It's still fucking getting laid, okay? It's still getting fucked. All right, that's what these shows are about. That's what these movies are about. Honestly. Now, I am already world famous, okay, because I reviewed every single episode of Sex and the City. So I know what I'm talking about. And I reviewed all the movies, and I reviewed that new piece of shit show, okay? So I know what I'm fucking talking about, okay? So I decided once I was done with Sex and the City that I was going to go after your fucking chick flicks, all right? I've already done Romeo and Juliet. I've already done Thelma and Louise. I've already done fucking A League of Their Own. I've already done fucking A Pretty Woman. And now I'm going after the fucking Notebook. It's time to get out of the 90s. All right, let's go after the fucking Notebook. All right, it is a piece of shit. It really is. I could not believe it. Now, obviously, I did not see the movie when it first came out. Okay, but girls that I dated had seen it, and they told me how great it was. And all the girls I used to work with. I lived in Chicago. I was young back in the early 2000s. Actually, this movie came out around the time that Sex and the City was starting to wind down. Actually, or it was like in their 5th or 6th season or some shit like that. It was at the end. All right, so this movie came out right around that time. All these women were talking about how great it was. Okay, I did not go see it when it came out, but I think I rented it at Blockbuster Video. Well, yeah, that was a thing back then, Blockbuster Video. Yeah, long gone. There was no streaming back then. Okay, yeah, I think I rented it or some shit. I don't know how, but I ended up watching it. And I just remember thinking, oh, what the fuck is everyone so fucking crazy about? What the fuck is this shit? This is some bullshit. This is just fucking another Romeo and Juliet bullshit. You know, I could not believe how, and I was younger back then. I was more immature back then. You know, watching this, and even I was saying, like, this is some bullshit. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck am I watching here? What is so good about this fucking movie? I don't fucking get it. Because after this movie came out, all of a sudden Ryan Gosling became a fucking thing. And he's still a thing today. He's still a fucking thing. You know, same with Rachel McAdams, same fucking thing. She became like the #1 girl in America. Like every girl wanted to be like her all of a sudden. Like what the fuck? You know, I mean, to me, she's that bitch from Mean Girls. You know? And to me, Ryan Gosling, he's still fucking Beastmaster of the TV show. Yeah, to me, that's what he still is, okay? I didn't understand. I still don't understand the appeal of Ryan Gosling. Okay, now I understand the basic appeal. You know, women like guys that are fucking rich and famous. And he is. And fuck the looks. Fuck all that. He's rich and famous. That automatically makes you attractive to most beautiful young women. So I get that part of it. But I didn't understand why women thought this guy was such a romantic fucking heartthrob based on his performance in this movie. Now I have seen him play better characters, and no, not La La Land. That's just fucking gay. It is. Okay, no, but I remember seeing him in a movie with I think Steve Carell and Julianne Moore. You don't know, it's one of those comedies, you know. I think he was like a pickup artist, and he ends up fucking Emma Stone. He ends up like seducing her. Like he was a better character in that. And I know obviously he's a good actor. He's done some other stuff that I liked. I did this movie called Blue. Was it Blue February, or it's like the anti-Valentine's Day movie? You know, that kind of shit. So he's done some good stuff. You know, but in this movie, I didn't understand what the appeal was. I don't understand why women saw in him, other than he's a good-looking guy. There's lots of good-looking guys, okay, but they don't all become heartthrobs. What was so fucking special about him? Okay, that's the part I didn't get. Okay, his character was very badly written. He didn't seem to me like a guy that acted like a guy. He really didn't. He seemed to me like a piece of shit, like a wimp. Honestly, he did. He did. He seemed to me like a fucking wimp. He let his fucking girl beat the shit out of him. He fucking tries to kill himself over her. I mean, this is stupid. No guy would do this. Oh, maybe there are guys. Actually, there are guys that would do it, but they don't look like him. They don't act like him. Okay, you all know the guys I'm talking about. All right, you ladies out there. All right, so no, and her, she was a fucking bitch. She's an untrusty fucking bitch. That's what she is. Why would you want that in your life? Why would you fight so hard to have that in your life for the rest of your fucking life? You know? I mean, what the fuck was those special? Like, yeah, she's a pretty girl. Hey, there's lots of pretty girls. Okay? And most of them, I'm guessing, are going to treat him a lot better than she treats him. So what the fuck was so special about it? This is just a fucking female empowerment fantasy. That's all it is. Strong woman, weak man. It's the same shit we're always getting today in Hollywood. But they were doing it back then, okay? And now quickly here, I want to tell you, okay, this motherfucker, Nicholas Sparks. Okay, now he wrote this book that they based the movie on, all right? Now, I have not read his books except for one. I read one Nicholas Sparks book, and it was not this one, okay? It was the one with, they made a movie out of it. It was with Channing Tatum. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll have to look it up. When I do my next video, I'll have it down. But you know the one I'm talking about. With Amanda Seyfried and Channing Tatum. You know the one I'm talking about. He plays a soldier. Okay, I was in the military. Like, I was in the military when that fucking movie, not the movie, but well, maybe the movie, when the book came out. I listened to it when I was in the military, and you want to talk about some fucking bullshit. Okay, I did not read this book. Maybe the book is better than this movie. I don't know. But I did read that one. The name will come to me eventually. Okay, y'all know which one I'm talking about. When Channing Tatum was the soldier who falls in love with Amanda Seyfried. Okay, but what I do remember, based on that one book of his that I read, is Nicholas Sparks is a fucking woman. Okay, he is not a man. He may look like a man. He's not. He has the name of a man. He's not a fucking man. I guarantee you. If you were to pull his pants down, there would be a fucking vagina there. Okay, he does not understand what men are. Okay, he does not understand men. I'm thinking he's probably gay. He might be gay, but he does not understand what men are. He has never written a man, as far as I know. At least there was no men in the book that I read. Yeah, he doesn't understand what men are, what men go through. He sure as fuck doesn't know what men in the military, like me, go through in our dating lives when we're active duty and there's a fucking war going on at the same time. No, he doesn't understand that shit, okay? He writes men as if they are women, and pathetic women at that. Not even strong, independent women, like a pathetic woman, okay? Like the kind of woman you don't want to see a movie about. That's the kind of you take a character like that and turn him into a man. Call him a man, and that's basically Channing Tatum in that movie, okay? And in the book, and his character in the book. It pissed me off so much, I hated it. I mean, I finished the book. I listened to the whole thing. There was a couple of good things in there, but for the most part, like, he does not understand what a man is. And in this movie, it's the same thing. This guy, I don't know what the fuck he is. He's not a real man. He's a simp. He's a soy boy. He's all sorts of fucking stupid shit. He's very self-destructive, and I don't mean it in a good way. I mean, self-destructive can be sexy, okay, but most of the time, like a rock star, like a Jim Morrison type person, there's a sexy self-destructive guy. Okay, I'm not talking that kind. Okay, I'm talking the kind that's gonna fucking commit suicide while you're at work. Okay, that kind. All right, and you're gonna find his body when you get home. That's the kind of fucking self-destructive this guy is. All right, and that's nothing appealing about that. At least not for me, anyway. I don't want to see a movie like that. I don't want to see a movie where the guy is portrayed that way, unless he's a villain or unless he's a character that the other characters are trying to help. That would be an interesting movie, but that's not. He's actually the protagonist. He's actually the fucking love interest in this movie, and he's not a fucking real man, okay? And I will get to that once I get to the movie, okay? Now, the biggest concerns that I have with the Notebook, the biggest problems I had with the Notebook, I mean, I'm going to go into in-depth review in my next videos. Right now, I'm just giving you an introduction. The biggest problem that I have with the Notebook is that, like I said, the men were acting like men. It was like watching Sex and the City again. Okay, this guy did not act like a man. He did not. Okay, and this girl acted too fucking bitchy to be attractive. Okay, to be attractive. Why would I be with a pretty girl who treats me like a shit when I can be with a pretty girl who actually treats me nice, who treats me with respect? You see, that's taboo in Hollywood. You can't have a woman that's actually nice to a guy because that makes her look weak, and we cannot have that, especially not in a rom-com or in a chick flick. No, the woman's got to be strong. It's the man that has to be weak. The man has to be weak. Okay, he needs to fucking get on his knee and beg her acceptance. Okay, not the other way around. When we all know in real fucking life, it is the other way around. Okay, and what I mean by that, if you're a fucking high value man, you have no problem getting girls falling in love with you. Okay, you have no problem. Okay, Ryan Gosling has no problem getting a fucking girl. All right. Girls come to him. They beg to go out with him, even though they know he's married. They don't give a shit. They beg to go out with him. You know why? Because he's fucking Ryan Gosling. Okay, so in real life, it's the other way around. Okay, if you are a high value man. Okay, but in this movie, he's supposed to be a high value man because the women all love him. The women all want him. Not the women in the movie. I'm talking about the women in the audience. Okay, but he acts like a low value man. Therefore, I don't see the appeal. Now, yes, ladies, I know in the back of your mind, okay, I know you're thinking, well, yeah, he's just playing this guy in the movie. In real life, he's rich, and, you would go out with me, okay? I get it, okay? But in the context of the movie, he's just basically this broke fucking asshole, who lives with his dad, he has a bullshit fucking job, okay, and he lives in a shithole town, okay, and he falls in love with a rich girl. I mean, even if he fucked her, which could happen, I've seen it happen. I've done it myself. All right, I've seen it happen. Okay, but that she would throw away her whole life for this guy, a guy that she treats like shit. Come on, yeah. The story's not very good, and I will go into the story once I start reviewing the movie. Okay. Another thing you need to know about this movie is it was directed by Nick Cassavetes. Okay. Now Nick Cassavetes is from a Hollywood family. Okay. Obviously, his mom is in the fucking movie. Yes, his mom plays the older version of the main character. What's her name? Allie. Okay, yes, Allie is the girl and Noah is the boy. Okay, but now the young versions of Noah and Allie are played by Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. Okay, like I said, this was the movie that made them a big deal. And no, they did not date while they were making this movie. They dated after they finished making this movie, and they hated each other. They hated each other while they were making this movie. Okay. But the older, the geriatric versions of these characters, because this is a flashback movie. Okay, the geriatric versions of these characters, when they're in an old folks' home, are played by Gina Rollins. She plays Allie, and James Garner plays Noah. Okay, yes, Maverick himself, the Rockford Files. Hell yeah, yeah, yes, I watched the Rockford Files when I was a little kid. All right, I watched the reruns. I'm not that fucking old. All right. But yeah, James Garner. Yeah, Maverick. Yeah. Anyway, his mom, Nick Cassavetes, his mom is Allie, Gina Rollins. That's his mom. He cast his mom. He comes from a Hollywood family. His father was John Cassavetes, okay, who was mostly a director. Okay, he's directed a lot of shit, but he also acted. Okay, and the only thing I remember John Cassavetes from, okay, was I remember him using The Dirty Dozen. He got nominated for a best supporting actor Academy Award for The Dirty Dozen. That movie came out like in 1967. Okay. Other than that, he acted in like some TV shows and stuff, and he would pop up in a movie every once in a while. He was in Rosemary's Baby. He was the devil worshipping husband of Mia Farrow, the one who gave his baby up to the devil. Yeah. That's John Cassavetes. Anyway, his son Nick Cassavetes directed this movie. Okay, and he put his mom in it. He put Gina Rollins in it. Okay, I get it. You love your mom. She's an actress. You want to put her in there. And Gina Rollins on the other. She first came up like in the 50s. She did a lot of TV shows back when TV show was a new medium. So she did a lot of TV shows. She did a few movies and stuff too. Nothing that I can really remember, just because I didn't really know about her. Okay, the first time I heard about her was I was already a man. She was already an old lady. I remember her. She was in Hope Floats. You remember that movie with Harry Connick Jr., Sandra Bullock? She played the mom that dies at the end. Yep, spoilers. Okay, Hope Floats. There's another movie where this fucking bitch treats this fucking nice guy like shit throughout the whole fucking movie, even though he's just trying to be a nice guy. Yeah, very realistic, right? Okay, it is realistic, but the fact that he would fall in love with her after she treated him like shit for 2 hours, not realistic. Okay. What else? That's it. That's all I really know her from. Okay, and of course I know her from this movie. I did see a movie that I will have to review called Playing by Heart. Okay, and that came out in the late 90s. Listen, okay, I gotta tell you something. Okay, when I was in the Marines, okay, I was cut off from society for the most part. All right, when we were in garrison, we were on our base. We had very limited access to all the shit the civilians could do. We couldn't just go to Taco Bell. Okay, we couldn't just fucking go to the video store. Okay, we couldn't just do those things. Okay, so we used to rent movies and stuff, or borrow each other's movies and just watch them in our spare time. Okay, so I watched a lot of videos that way. I watched more videos at home than I did, and going to the theater. Okay, and one of the movies that I remember watching was I think I borrowed it and then I rented it and then I bought it. It's called Playing by Heart. Came out in 1998, back before Angelina Jolie's in it, but this is before she became a thing. Okay, Ryan Phillippe was in it, back when he was a thing. Late 90s. Sean Connery, the late great Sean Connery was in. He played actually Gina Rollins' husband in that movie. He was the patriarch of the family. Okay, Dennis Quaid was in it. He was trying to do a career comeback. There's a lot of famous people who were in this movie. So what do you call it? Even Anthony Edwards was in this fucking movie. Yeah. But it was a very good movie, and playing by heart. And I remember that Gina Rollins was in that, so I remember that. Okay, but that's it. Otherwise, I didn't know who the fuck she was. Now, James Garner, on the other hand, I do know who he is. Okay, when I was growing up in Chicago, when I was a little kid, we used to spend all of our vacations at Grandma's house in Chicago. I think I mentioned this in some other videos. Okay, and I was very close to my uncle who passed away a long time ago. But I remember he would watch all these fucking stupid ass shows in the basement of the house. Okay, you know, that's the black and white TV, and the lady got a color TV. Yes, I'm that old. Okay, but we would watch mostly reruns. Okay, I'm not that fucking old. We watch reruns. We watch like shit like Beretta and Starsky and Hutch. You know, Kojak. You know, all the cop shows from the fucking 70s. You know, Beretta, like the Beretta, McLeod. You know, all that kind of bullshit. You know, Policewoman. You know, which I didn't like that much, even though Angie Dickinson's hot. You know, there's stuff like that. We were all watching Quincy. I was a big fan of Quincy. Okay, and another one of the shows that we watched was the Rockford Files. I know. I don't fucking know what the Rockford Files are. To this day, I have not seen an episode since I was a little kid. All right, so I don't fucking remember who he was. All right, I think it was a private detective. But obviously, I think his name was John Rockford, but don't quote me on that, okay? And, you know, it had a crazy theme song. You know, it's a crazy theme song. Anyway, I just remember watching an episode of my uncle, okay? And this is James Garner, and, you know, he's the good guy. He's the main character, okay? So whenever he punches the bad guy, he knocks him out. Well, I just remember watching an episode of the Rockford Files where he's fighting this bad guy on the roof of a building, okay? And the bad guy beats the shit out of him. He's and I just remember like, wait, you're like the main character, like you're like, you know, you're like the star of the show. When you fight the bad guys, you always win. But he got his ass kicked. The bad guy got away. So I just remember that, like I'd never seen that before. I was a little kid, you know, but I'd never seen that before. You know, like I remember watching Knight Rider. You know, come on, when Michael Knight fought somebody, he won. Okay, all the cop shows, when there's a fight going on, the main character won. You know, MacGyver, when he fights somebody, he wins. You know, I mean, it's just a given. You know, when Beretta fights somebody, he wins. You know, but like this guy, he fought somebody, he got his ass kicked. I was like, okay, never seen that before. That's what I remembered about it. Okay, so yeah, the Rockford Files, and before that, he was on a show called Maverick, which was like a western back in the '60s, I think it was. You know, and yeah, they made a movie out of it with Mel Gibson in the '90s and Jodie Foster, and he was in that movie too. But he's done a lot of shit as an old man. Obviously, he was in some movie with Eddie Murphy where he died in it. You know, he's a politician. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, he's done a lot of shit. I think he's dead now. Yeah, but anyway, I remember when John Ritter passed away on that show, 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. Yeah, that was a show. When John Ritter passed away, they didn't cancel the show immediately. They replaced him with James Garner. James Garner played the grandpa that came in and became the man of the house, whatever. And then they canceled the show, which was good for Katie Kuko because then she went off and did fucking, you know, what the fuck's that show? See, I don't even fucking know. Katie Kuko, you know, Big Bang Theory. Yeah, then she went off and did Big Bang Theory and became a fucking billionaire from that. So yeah, so good for her. But anyway, so that's why I know James Garner. That's why I remember him. So he was a familiar face. So seeing him in this movie, it was a familiar face. And no, Ryan Gosling looks absolutely nothing like James Garner did in his youth. Absolutely nothing. I also remember James Garner from The Great Escape with Steve McQueen. He was one of the guys. He was one of the American POWs in the German POW camp. Okay, not concentration camp. Okay, POW. They actually treated you with respect. The Germans actually treated the Allies with respect. The officers, they treated them with respect in those camps. Okay, I guess Hermann Goring respected all the aviation guys. Okay, so they're actually treated pretty good. You know, think Hogan's Heroes, that type of POW camp. You know, it wasn't that bad. But anyway, James Garner was in that movie too. Okay. With Steve McQueen. But anyway, yeah, so he's a legend. He's been around a long time. Did a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies. You know, he did a movie called Tank with the fucking mom from Partridge Family, Shirley MacLaine. Yeah, look that one up. Yeah, that's a good one right there. Anyway, so James Garner was already like a legend. So I already knew who he was, okay? And then we came into this movie. Now, another thing about this movie you need to know about, some of the casting decisions that they made here. James Marsden plays this guy named Lon. Okay, now we all know him. To me, he's Cyclops. He's Cyclops from the X-Men movies, okay? But My son knows him from the Sonic movies, okay, the Sonic the Hedgehog movies that are recently coming out. He's the dad in that. So he's in there. Okay, he's a cuck. Who else? Sam Shepard is in there. He's done a lot of acting, mostly in TV, 70s. Okay. And who else? And Joan Allen is in this movie. Okay. Now, Joan Allen, she had a big career resurgence around this time. Although she's been acting for a very long time. Okay. She's basically this older lady. She plays the mom, the bitchy mom of fucking of Allie's character. Okay, but yeah, she's kind of a bit of a legend herself. And once they introduce that character, I'll go more into details about them. But basically, what this movie's about, I'm sure if you watch this video, you already know what this movie's about. Is you got these two people in an old folks' home. Okay, they both live there. Allie has like dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay, but every once in a while she remembers who she is and she remembers the people around her. Most of the time she forgets. She forgets her husband, she forgets her name, she forgets her family, she forgets all these things, okay? So Noah's in there. We don't know it in the beginning of the movie, but Noah's actually her husband. We think it's just like another old guy that's there trying to help her out. But no, it's actually her husband. And he reads her a bunch of shit to get her to remember who she used to be. Now, this is the heart of the movie here. Yes, the story is told about the two young lovers that fall in love. That's what got the fucking teenage girls in the fucking theater, okay? But what got the old ladies in the theater was the story about Gina Rollins and fucking James Garner, about these two old people, and he's trying to reconnect with his wife, who's suffering from dementia, who can't remember him anymore, you know? And that's breaking his heart. Of course, breaking his heart. He's a fucking pussy. He's fucking crying about everything in this movie. Even when he was a young man, he was doing this, okay? Now, I understand this is his wife, okay? And he doesn't want to let her go. He's attached to her, and he should be, okay? But I would hope that somebody like that, who knows? I've never been married for fucking 35, 40 years like he is in this movie, okay? I would think that maybe he would need to have a braver face. I don't know. We only see him interact with his kids once, and that's at the end of the movie, where he does act like, you know, okay, you know, I'm here with your mom, and I'm going to take care of her, you know. He's not like, oh, your mother, she doesn't remember me. He's not like that, okay? But he's that way with her when he's talking to her, you know. And also, he talks to her the way that you know, that like a girl would talk to a girl, you know. And then they fell in love with each other because he was a handsome man. Like, who the fuck talks that way? You know, that's the way that's the way old ladies talk to each other. That's not the way an old man talks to his wife. I mean, come on, you know. So yeah, so a lot of that stuff, it bothered me a lot. But overall, my impression of the movie, before I review it here, is that it sends the wrong message. Okay, that these two characters are very unlikable, honestly. Now, I did watch a video recently on a YouTube channel, which came out yesterday, actually. I don't remember it, but I fucking hate that YouTube channel. I really fucking hate it. Okay, but they talked about all the wrong things with The Notebook, the things that are problematic with it. Like, they couldn't understand why anybody liked this movie either, why women love this movie so much. But their criticism of the movie was for much different reasons than my criticism for the movie. Okay, I didn't like the acting. I didn't like the story. I didn't like the characters. Okay, the acting, I guess, was pretty good. Okay, but I didn't like the characters. I did not like their personality traits. I don't think they worked well together at all. Okay, but this YouTube channel, they said the problem with the movie was, remember, 2004, was it wasn't woke enough. They didn't say that, but that's what they meant. There were not enough black people in the show. They didn't specify how Allie's father made his money, or how Lon, her fiance, made his money from the South. Well, obviously, their families probably owned slaves back in the day, okay? But because the movie didn't talk about that, it wasn't a good movie. You know, like, what the fuck? Why do you have to talk about that? You know, like, what the fuck? None of these people actually own slaves. You know, so what the fuck? You know, there weren't enough black people. Well, look at that neighborhood that this little town that they live in. There's no black people there. Okay, they just don't live there. I've been to towns where there's no black people. It doesn't make them racist. It just means they don't want to live there. What the fuck? You know? I've been to towns where there's no Mexicans. Am I offended? No. Well, Hollywood's not offended. They don't give a shit about us. But, you know, black people, they don't have enough black people in there. They're going to say, oh, that's bullshit. You can't do it. No, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You know, just stuff like that. You know, just stupid shit like that. It just wasn't woke enough. There wasn't enough gay characters in the movie. That kind of shit. It just like it pissed me off. Okay, but anyway, no, that's not the problem. None of that stuff is the problem I have with this movie. Okay, if they were rich and they were white, more than likely, even back in the day, back when this movie takes place, okay, in the 40s, late 40s, whatever, or mid 40s, late 40s, or it might have been the 50s. I don't know. We'll get to it. Even back in the day, it just wouldn't have happened. Okay, white people will tend to live. Rich white people are going to tend to live in areas with other rich white people, and vice versa. Okay, that's just the way things are. It's still that way for the most part today, unless you live in a big city. Then it's more diverse. Okay, but if you live out in the suburbs, or you live out in the boonies somewhere, you're going to notice you're going to be living around a lot of people that look like you. Okay, there's nothing racism about it. It's just people tend to congregate with each other. For some reason, it feels more comfortable that way. They have more culture in common. That's all it is. Okay, and it was that way back then too. It's not a crime. It's not a fucking crime. Anyway. Okay, so I'm Diego, and I'm going to be giving you my fucking chick flick destruction on this movie. I'm going to break down the entire fucking movie, and I'm going to tell you what the truth was and what bullshit is. Okay? So ladies, I hope you're ready to get destroyed, okay? I do not filter myself. I will not censor myself. So if you're easily offended, if you're easily triggered, if you're a snowflake, get the fuck out of here right now. Okay? The real question you need to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle it? Because I don't think you can. So I'm going to give you a big dose of truth. Straight up, baby, and no lube. No lube. All right? So you better get ready for it. I'm taking apart the notebook. All right? I will see you soon on the next video. And thank you for watching this long. Bye.